Okay. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me? Okay. Please find your seats and prepare for this morning's service. Thank you. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. My name is Deb Matherly, and I'm your service leader for today. Our minister is the Reverend Stephen Robinson. Our services are streamed on YouTube and Zoom, and no matter how you choose to join us, you are always welcome. We encourage everyone to note the QR code in our order of service, which will take you to a link of our current and ongoing events, or you may pick up a paper copy of our events in the foyer. We also provide weekly email updates every Thursday, and don't forget to check our website at uucolumbia.org. We welcome families with children. Today, children and youth will be dismissed to their CYR music class today, Explore the Tabla with Ryan Shaw, after the story for all ages. For infants and children to age 5, we provide child care. We'd love to have more child care volunteers, and to be a volunteer, please see Bethany Storlazzi or Jonathan White. Paid positions are also available, and we have a new flyer out in the foyer with details for paid positions, so great. And now, please silence all devices as we center ourselves for today's service and listen to the preludes. Okay, by Encore.
When the saints, oh, when the saints go marching in, when the saints go marching in, oh, I want to be in that number. When the saints go marching in, if we all pledge to give our share. This church is our church. This church is your church. This congregation, it is our family. I love the old folks. I love the young folks. This church was made for you and me. The children's library, the Sunday sermons. I love the music, especially Encore. I love it through the Spirit fills me. This church was made for you and me. So keep on giving. We need your money to keep on growing and pay our light bills, to pay employees and balance budgets. This church was made for you and me.
Thank you, Encore. All right. Please stand and join me in the Congregational Covenant in your order of service. Okay. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament. and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Please be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, which means we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We side with love, embracing and welcoming all people. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and comments, and board members may be recognized by their green name tags. Now we would like to recognize any guests or visitors who are here today. Barry, can you please come forward and help us with the microphone? And if anyone would like to stand, if you're willing and able, and we will bring the microphone to you. Yeah. Anyone standing? Okay.
That was easy.
That was easy. Okay, great.
All
All right.
I'll help next time.
Okay, thank you. I'll just skip the part about visitors. If there's visitors who didn't stand up, we do have cards in the back of the chair that you could fill out, and we will send you an email about coming events. Today's chalice lighter is Michelle Curry. And Michelle has been our esteemed bookkeeper since May 2021. She and her husband, Donnie, moved to Lugoff from Connecticut 10 years ago. Their 2 adult daughters live in New York City. She has been a bookkeeper for 40, yikes, years. She has been a UU since 2021, and she loves the community of the UUCC. Spirit of light and life, come unto us. Now let's have our opening hymn, number 404. And what gift can we bring? That'll be in your gray hymnal.
Our opening hymn is number 404,
404? Yeah.
which I have here somewhere.
Okay. Thank you.
And I have to wait for the piano player. He got the wrong piece of music up here, which I do quite frequently, but anyhow. I think I'll play the right one. Number 404, right? Did I say it right? Okay, I'm going to play it through once just so you get an idea of how it works, and then please sing along. What gift can we bring?
Okay, and now Will the children please come forward for the story for all ages? Children and young at heart.
Everybody to get down, and I think the kids are coming from the nursery as well.
Okay. Great.
Good morning. How are you all doing? Good. So exciting to see you here this morning. I want us to try something out and see if you know what this is. Does anybody know what this is? Wow, a basket. Yes, you are spot on. It is a basket, absolutely. What about what's inside the basket? Do you know what that is? Paper. We're very literal this morning. What is this? All right, awesome. So this is a little piece of paper that we have on the back of every chair, and it's what people use to, nope, not a visitor card. You see what it says? A gift. It is what we put our offering in. Remember that part in the service? Sometimes you're not in here, you're already in the back, but sometimes you actually help with this where we walk the basket around and people put their money in. That's right. And today is something we call our pledge drive, which is where everybody decides this is what I'm giving for the year, and this is what I'm going to pledge to give to support our church. And you can participate in that too, because giving is more than just money. There are ways that you can give to our church and give to our community. Can you think of some ways that you can do that? Yep, that's right. I'm not going to repeat that one. It's giving me soap, right? All right. All right. You can actually give some money. That's right. Yep. Helping the homeless. Absolutely. Being kind. That's right. What about something we did a few weeks ago where you built something back there in the back? Construction. Where was that going? All those canned foods. Harvest Hope. That's right. Build a tower. Don't we know that we need a tower here? Who out there needs a tower? See, we can build a tower. So here's what I want you to do. You can also do little things while you're here. You can be kind to each other. You can listen to each other. You can care for each other. If someone that you see is sad, what can you do? Yep, you can try to make them happy, but also you can find out why they're sad. Yeah. Silly things like offer soap to the minister, right? I'm keeping my distance. Maybe you were trying to send me a message there. Do what? Tell them jokes, all right. What about when we're back there in just a few minutes? Ryan, you see Ryan back there? He's waving. He's back there ready for you. Ryan is giving today for you. He's going to teach you about the tabla. He was here just a few weeks ago, and months, sorry, felt like weeks, a couple of months ago, and led it for our service, and he offered to come back and do that for you today. So Ryan's given to our congregation. You're going to have fun back there. What are some other things you can do? All right, that's right. You can take care of your brother. Oh, you want to introduce? All right, go ahead. Personal introduction, that's something you can do. You got to come here. Good morning. Nice to meet you. Sorry, I need soap. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. Everybody gets a little envelope. All right, we're going to pass these around. And then I want you to think about something in your mind that you can do to help someone or help our congregation while you're here? You want one too? Thank you, Tom. All right, we'll make sure Mommy gets one too. She's got one over there. All right, there we go. So, hold your piece of paper. Where? Oh, sorry, missed it. All right, so hold your piece of paper, and I want you to think about something that you can give. Just keep it in your mind, and a way that you can contribute and give something to our church, to our community, to your friends, to your school, to at home, ways that you can help people. All right, everybody got that in their mind? And here's what we do when we take up our offering. We need one volunteer. Pat, you look like a volunteer to receive the offering this morning. All right, so Pat is gonna come and just drop your envelope in the basket, and that will be our offering, just for the kids. Yep. Think about what you're giving and put your envelope in there. We're all contributing. Soap. Good job. Got one back there too. All right. And if you're in the service when we do this with the big people, it always comes back to me, and I always say that this giving, this full basket that we have, is a commitment to what? Our good work, our community. It's the symbol of our community and our commitment to our good work, all that we do. So thank you for taking part in our pledge drive this morning. Ryan is waiting on you, so head back that way.
Learn your lesson from my children, your truth in the wide unknown. Love each other, work together, and search for wisdom and happiness.
All right, thank you, kids, and a big thanks if you happen to see Ryan after the service for coming and being willing to lead this time for our kids today as a part of our CYRE event. So this is our pledge drive. Unfortunately, I know we have some folks who are here very new, some even for the first time. And so just know that we only ask for money every Sunday. So this is not a normal thing. We don't do that on Mondays. So just every Sunday. This is the kickoff of our pledge drive, and so it's my pleasure for our opening words to bring Jenny Verne, who's the chair of our finance committee, to come and kick off our pledge drive. She's got some words to share. Up here, Jenny. Oh, come on.
It's not fair.
It's fair. They want to see you.
It's always so hard to follow Stephen, even at the dinner table. My name is Jenny Verne, as you can see from my absent green name tag. I apologize for that. I currently serve as the UUCC Finance Committee Chair, and today I'm speaking for all the members of that committee, not just myself. This morning, we're kicking off our annual pledge drive. But before I talk about that campaign, I want to thank all of you for your continued support of the UUCC. When Reverend Stephen accepts the weekly offering, he calls it evidence of our commitment to good work. He just repeated that with the children. And it's because of your commitment to our good work that I'm really, really proud to stand here in front of you as a member of this congregation.
Thank you. Thank you all for giving your time. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. Thank you for sharing your talents. Thank you for all your gifts. And yes, thank you for your money. Because of your pledges and other financial gifts, we're currently in pretty good shape here. We have no debt. We lately It's been almost 2 years and I still feel good that we paid off that mortgage. We have no debt. We've lately been able to put aside some funds for emergency use, should we need that. If there's cash that we don't think we're going to need to spend within the next month or so, that is earning money in a money market account. And we have reached this point simply because you, members and friends of the UUCC, believe in and share a commitment to our good work. Today we're asking...
I'm sorry. I need to interrupt here just a minute. Hey, y'all, I'm Nancy Shillington-Perez, and I work with the CYRE committee back there, and I want to let you know what Jenny's saying is exactly right. We have done amazingly good work. In fact, raise your hand if you've seen that magnificent new playground that we have in the back. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've not seen it yet, oh, I have a good idea. Let's all go play right now. Come on with me.
No.
Stephen has a few things he needs to share with you later on. But definitely make sure that you check it out because you all, pat yourselves on the back, have contributed to an amazing thing that the kids are enjoying, some adults too, on and into the future. We thank you all so very humbly. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. But Nancy is absolutely right. It's a wonderful piece of equipment. If you have not seen it yet, you really owe it to yourself to go take a peek. Actually, the UUCC Board of Trustees for the past 2 years has had four very broad goals. One of them was to support the CYRE program in any way they can. And this piece of playground equipment, which is marvelous, and restructuring the playground was just one of the ways that the board followed up on their commitment to support the CYRE. And if you don't believe that has worked for our congregation, take a look at the number of children who were down here this morning compared to a couple years ago. And I said that because Nancy was going to jump up and say it too. I know. Okay, let's go back to the script. Today we're asking you to consider your pledge for the next fiscal year. This fiscal year begins July 1st and it ends in June of 2025. Last year our campaign theme centered on growth, and we certainly have grown. Just look at those kids. Maybe this year we should have had another theme that talked about continued growth or growing either larger, even larger, or I don't know how we could have done that, but we chose to really not have a theme. Just say, look, folks, you're intelligent. We need your money. You understand how this goes. And Stephen put it very well to me a week or so ago when we were talking. He said, we say our theme every Sunday. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. That's our theme. That's the theme of our life. And so we'll make that the informal theme of our pledge. I'd ask you to pick up your pledge card today after the service. There's a table in the back of the social hall, and Michelle and I think Deb will be womaning that table. And that pledge card lists the amount of your pledge for the current year, or if you haven't made a pledge, there's a blank card there you can pick up. I would ask you to think very seriously about increasing your pledge, if there's any way you can do that. We do a lot of good work, and a lot of that work happens in this building. Our building is in need of some TLC, especially our CYRE education wing, where the children go and where we have so many of our meetings. If the Building and Grounds Committee keeps a list of all the things that need to be done repair-wise, structure-wise, and that's a large list, but they have to prioritize it. Any increase that we can get in your commitment, your pledge commitment to us, will allow them to tackle some more of those projects and make that building safer for all of us, especially for our children. I would also personally like to ask you to make your pledge as soon as you can. Don't put it off till 3 months from now. The Finance Committee meets this Wednesday, that's in 3 days, to begin the process of building a budget. All of the committees have given us their requests for how much money they would like to have next year. And once we know the amount of our pledges, then we know how much we can budget for them to accomplish the work that they do. And incidentally, if you're interested in how the budget works and what the budget says before the annual meeting, when you will vote on it, on April 21st, there will be an information meeting after this service where we will have copies of the proposed budget as it stands at that time, and you are welcome to come for that. There will be more announcements about that. You can leave your card with us today. You can send it back by snail mail. You may email our bookkeeper. Any way you can get the pledge back to us. And if you don't, we're going to send a letter and remind you, because we want that money. As you all know, a pledge is a requirement of membership. If you simply cannot pledge, there are waivers available. If you have a waiver currently, remember that it will not carry over till next year. A waiver has to be reissued every year. And if you need a waiver, I would ask you to please speak with Reverend Stephen, okay? There are a few members of the Finance Committee here this morning. If those of you who are connected with finance would kind of stand up for just a moment so people can see who you are. These people, thank you all. They will be around after the service. If you have questions, I'm sure they will be happy to talk with you or suggestions. Thank you for listening to me. And I'm going to leave you with the same tagline I used last year. If you're tired of it, I'm sorry. We don't ask you to give until it hurts. We ask you to keep on giving until it feels good. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenny. And Jenny is coming back a little bit later to do our sermon this morning as well. So thank you for, no? Oh. Well. Really appreciate the hard work of the Finance Committee and Michelle and Cindy, as well as staff members supporting our pledge drive. So thank you all for that good work to be able to do what we do. At this point in our service, we move to a time of candles of community where we share our joys and concerns. So we always have candles in the foyer for you to pick up, and invite you to use this time in the service to come and briefly share your joy or concern and place your candle here.
I'm Bob Gillespie, and as a lot of you probably know, and if you, if you probably do know, if you don't, tomorrow I'll be 3 weeks removed from back surgery, 2 procedures, which, as you can see, worked pretty well. And so this is a candle of thanks and gratitude to all the people who reached out, either with calls, emails, And especially I'd like to thank the Eureka girls, Lucille, Artemis, and Roxanne, who all created handmade cards that are displayed on my mantle now. So anyway, I'd also like to thank J.P. Flood for getting up last week and giving an enthusiastic, if not wholly accurate, description of my procedures. But I'm doing well, and again, appreciate everything. And although she's left, I just wanted to compliment Nancy on her presentation. Reminds me of the famous line from the movie When Harry Met Sally. I want what she's having.
Tomorrow is my 24th birthday. Thanks.
Hi guys, I'm lighting a candle to invite you all to attend Mental Health Advocacy Day at the State House this Wednesday, March 6th. It's from 9 to 12. I've been an employee with the National Alliance on Mental Illness for over 5 years now, and I couldn't be more passionate about their efforts towards continued care and accessible care. I've always been open about living with a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and severe social anxiety. And the NAMI community has never not welcomed me with open arms. So I invite you to attend and use your voice, bring signs, advocate for policy change. We even have an opportunity to go inside that day at the State House and speak with our policymakers about what kind of change is needed. And it's a lot for low-income individuals, incarcerated individuals, minorities. It's increasingly difficult to receive proper mental health care. Even the average person in South Carolina is faced with delays to care due to wait lists, insurance issues, lack of mental health professionals. We need to do more, and March 6th is an opportunity to push for exactly that. So I hope you guys will join me that day. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm lighting a candle for a friend who passed away this week, Marlene. I think she was from up north. And I got word from that. So, and Marlene.
Oh. Hi, everyone. As you know, I'm from Ukraine, and I was in Ukraine a couple of weeks. And one day before I left, Russian bombs house building in Odessa and killed 7 people. It was 2 children, 4 months old and 3 years old, that were killed in this bombing. One of the child was grandson of priest of Congregational Church, and he asked me to have this candle for those angels who will never grow, and just pray for Ukraine.
How difficult to take the mic after what we've just heard. I am Lee Mingy, and I'm lighting a candle of joy tinged with sadness. The joy has to do with Susan Robinson's having been with us for the last 6 months. What energy, what creativity, what love, and what a presence she is when she is on the East Coast with her family and with her church home. No one is going to miss her more than the partner church community because she is the backbone of an inspiration for what we are about. And she does a lot of work. But we realize that she has a family in Oregon, and they also want her love and companionship, so we have to let her go. Anyway, to Susan, I'd love for us to express how much we care about her. And everyone is given the opportunity today to sign the card that she created, and she reminded us that Easter is coming, and we always send Easter greetings to Besterze, so she's just taken on that project. So, just a P.S., I have a birthday coming up on Wednesday, and it is an amazing figure, which I'm not going to share, because there are at least 2 other members of the congregation who were born the same year, and they might not know or want me to share it.
The last candle that we light, oh, sorry.
Hi, I'm Chuck, and I wanted to remind everybody of a terrible event that took place on this day more than 30 years ago. The year was 1991, and a black truck driver was pulled out of his cab, the cab of his truck, and beaten almost to death. His name was Rodney King. That took place more than 30 years ago today. He was beaten severely by white policemen who were acquitted of their crime, and that's still going on all these years later. Cops are still beating people and still getting away with it. But this is for Rodney King.
I think our last candle that we light is for our joys that are silent and our concerns that are silent. Please join me in just a few deep breaths of silence, remembering all that you've heard. Thank you. As we prepare for our offering this morning, reminder that our Share the Plate recipient this month is the Congaree River Keeper, and it is my pleasure to invite Bill Stangler to share a little bit about the good work of the Congaree River Keeper. And just to let you know, Bill, Encore is available for a fundraising song for you. I can rewrite the lyrics to make it fit.
Good morning. My name is Bill Stangler, and I am your Congaree River Keeper. Many of you probably familiar with what we do. This is not the first time I've had the opportunity to come here, but we are a local nonprofit that works to protect the 3 rivers. So we do everything from organizing cleanups to water quality monitoring. holding polluters accountable, or picking fights at the State House. I always love being here during y'all's Pledge Month because everyone is in the giving mood. Unfortunately, I do not have a clever cover song. I don't have any jokes at the expense of Reverend Stephen. I'll work on those for next time. I don't think Nancy's about to jump up and yell anything. I'm looking around. So instead, I'm going to talk about two of the big issues that we're working on right now and kind of let you guys know just some of the things that we're doing, just so you know kind of what the ins and outs of Riverkeeper are. So one of them is, we heard some folks earlier today talking about things going on at the State House. And I, being a glutton for punishment, decided earlier this year I wanted to write legislation and see if we could get a law passed at the State House. So I came up with this idea, and it's a pretty basic idea, I thought, common sense. If you're floating down the river and you see a pipe and it's a permitted discharge, maybe it's a wastewater plant or an industry, there should probably be a sign that says what that company or what that entity is with the permit number and a telephone number on it, so that those folks who are floating by know, hey, maybe this isn't the best place for my kids to swim or to let my dog jump out, or if there's a problem, you know you can call somebody. So I reached out to a couple legislators, and we actually got this introduced to the State House. We had fantastic sponsors on this. Katrina Shealy from Lexington, Senator Shealy, Heather Bauer, Representative Bauer from right here in the Shandon area. A number of others, local folks, signed on to that. Micah Caskey, Russell Ott, Seth Rose, numerous other, Beth Bernstein, a bunch of other folks. Well, last week on Wednesday, I went to go testify about that bill and said, hey, this is common sense. You're a big company or you're a city, you can put up a sign. Well, shucks, the Chamber of Commerce and the Manufacturers Alliance said, how dare you? How dare you make us spend $200 to $300 on a sign? And then they said, you know, you guys can't ask to put our phone number out there. What if these riverkeepers start prank calling us? That is an issue that we're going to keep working on. Common sense, transparency stuff. I bring that up to say we like picking fights at the State House. It just seems like this one's going to be a little bit of a harder battle than I thought. But if you feel like reaching out to your legislators, and I know y'all are the type of folks that do, keep an eye out. We're going to be posting action alerts on our social media, put it out in our newsletter a couple days ago. We'll be talking about this. Reach out to your legislators and let them know, hey, common sense transparency for polluters is a good idea, and maybe let's not give a free pass to a bunch of these big polluters who are worried about putting up a little sign. If I can maintain 24 water quality signs with a staff of 1 around this town with a magic eraser and a screwdriver, I think some of these companies can do the same. Now the other issue, thank you. The other issue I want to talk about is a sneak peek. So I'm going to tell you all something. Do not go immediately post it online or call a reporter. Tom, looking at you. So I've been working on something. You guys may have heard about this issue on and off over the last couple of years. It's really gained traction. Forever chemicals. These are PFAS chemicals. These are things that are used in stuff like anti-stick coating for pans, or firefighting foam, or water repellent fabrics, or stain-resistant carpeting. And so for a couple of years now, we've been doing sampling, trying to identify where this stuff is coming from. It's in all of our drinking water. It's in most of our blood. And this stuff can cause significant human health impacts. Well, we started pulling samples a couple of years ago, and we found it, and the state has pulled samples, and they found it. And I went and I pulled some samples, working with a lab and a couple of attorneys, and we found it right at a facility on the Saluda River. And so tomorrow morning, we're going to deliver a notice of intent to sue letter against a company that has been illegally dumping this stuff into our river and into the drinking water for Casey and West Columbia. This company does $6 billion a year in revenue, and yet they have not disclosed any of the chemicals they're using, nor do they have any plans to clean them up. So that notice letter tells them, hey, you have 60 days to clean up your act, or we're going to take you to federal court. So, keep an eye on the newspaper. You'll see that tomorrow. That company is called Shaw Industries. They make stain-proof carpeting. That's how they do it. You're gonna find out a lot more about that tomorrow. That's the kind of work that we're doing. So I couldn't do this work without the support of so many other people, our volunteers, my board, the lawyers that we depend on, and all those folks that show up when we need them at city council meetings, public hearings, state house, everything like that. But I also couldn't do it without the support of folks like this congregation. So thank you guys very much. At the end of the day, the basic idea behind Riverkeeper is that these rivers belong to each and every one of us, and that together we can protect them. So thank you for your support.
Thank you, Bill. It's always a pleasure to have you here. We do stream live on YouTube, so if we need to edit that or pause that a little bit, because we do have a little over 1 million followers internationally. So I think something close to that. I can't remember the exact number. So. All right. If you want to contribute to Share the Plate, you have the entire month to do that using an offering envelope or using cash in the plate. So, and there's also opportunity to donate online through our website. This time I invite our ushers to come and receive our offering. Going to combine it with our offering from our kids. So this might baffle our counters when they get back there. To our commitment and to our good work. You know what, Bill, you're right. A lot of jokes today at Stephen's expense. That's all right. That's part of the pledge drive, I guess. But now I have the mic, so for the next hour, I will have free reign. This is always, this is not necessarily a sermon that you look forward to, the beginning of a pledge drive. It's also one that I don't necessarily not look forward to as well. I do think it's a great opportunity to bring meaning to this work of committing our monies, our time, our efforts, all that we do as pledging is not just about the finances, but it's about so much more about our commitment to our congregation. And I was reminded of a story that goes way back, way back to when I had just turned 16 years old. That was a few years ago. And I was returning home from my grocery store job that I had been working since I had turned 15. So I was just about a year in and had just convinced my parents, I can drive, go do the job. I don't need you to pick me up, drop me off. I can handle it myself and get home, which was a lot now that I think about it as a parent of teenagers, of letting a person work till 10 o'clock at a grocery store and then driving home. I don't know if that was the best move on their part, but that's what we did. And I stopped at a gas station, and this is going to date myself a little bit because this gas station wasn't unique at the time in that it was cash only, but there weren't cards on the gas pumps back then. Y'all remember that? Anybody remember when before you could actually slide in a credit card or debit card? And so I knew I needed gas, and I was so trying to convince my parents that I could do this, that I could be independent, that I wouldn't have to call on them. And when I left to go from the grocery store, I could hear my dad's voice in my head said, check the gas, how much gas you have. And of course, my dad's rule was always, don't ever let it get below half a tank. It was well below half a tank, almost at the E. And so I said, I've got to go to the gas station. And I looked and found $5 in cash. So I was like, all right, I can put $5 in cash. And back then, that was at least 5 gallons of gas, believe it or not. So I had the great job of making sure that it stopped on $5. And that requires a tremendous amount of attention. You can't do it today when the gas prices where they are, but back then you could stop it right on where it's supposed to do. So I don't know what happened. Sometime around $2 on the gas tank, my mind wandered off. I like to think I was thinking about, like the existential crisis of the human condition. I doubt it. I don't remember what I was thinking about, but I do remember that around $7, I looked back and may have said a couple of things and stopped the tank almost just shy of $8. So here I am. I have pumped almost $8 of gas. I only have $5 with me. And so now I've got the dilemma. Find it in my car somewhere. Looked, I think I found about 20 cents, so I'm getting there. And so I had decided I'm going to go in and I'm going to either plead my case to the gas station attendant, or I was going to have to call my parents, which I didn't want to do. And as I was about ready to walk into the gas station, this couple that had been pumping gas and watching me, I think they figured out what was going on. And he just walked up behind me and he said, don't worry, we have you covered. I can still, the anxiety of not wanting to admit that I needed help, the embarrassment of that, and then even questioning, am I really as independent and as responsible and as dependable as I think? I still remember the arm around my shoulder saying, don't worry, we've got you covered. And the beautiful thing is we walked in together. I gave my $5.20 and they covered the rest. It was truly an act of interdependence. And it just reminds me that from time to time in our life, we have to admit, as independent as we want to be, that we need community. We need religious community who lean on each other in this appropriate web of interdependency that we have. Here at the UUCC, we have children and youth who are looking for some kind of foundation, spiritual foundation, ethical foundation, meaningful foundation on which to build their future and navigate this very tough world for our kids that we have created for them. We have young adults who are finding their independence and their path in life, who need a community of support and help when they're needed. We have adults and families who deal with the day-to-day challenges of life, who require a network of purpose and meaning and collegiality in their lives every day. We have older adults dealing with brain surgery or back surgery, depending on whether JP gets it right or not, right? We have older adults dealing with the joys and the challenges of aging who need our help and our care. And everybody needs a religious community that creates this sense of community, celebrates individual search for truth and community and vigorous dialogue and sometimes and often needed debate together. And so as we look at all the needs of our congregation, our pledge drive today is literally an opportunity to grab a card, wrap your arm around its community, and say, "We have you covered." Our message and our culture out there is figure it out on your own. And even at that age, for me, the culture was telling me, if you're stuck at a gas station and you don't have enough money to pay for your gas, then you're just stuck. And you gotta figure it out. Somehow you gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps with that mentality. And our culture can often belittle the acts of compassion and celebrate and proliferate this mentality of, if it's to be, it's up to me. I've gotta figure it out. Our culture says, don't compromise, don't show your vulnerability, don't let weakness show, strive for power and wealth and freedom, and believe that you don't owe anyone anything. And in the midst of that culture, we sit here at the UUC as a beacon of light and justice and compassion, a counterculture of care. This UUCC is involved in so many efforts to strive for justice, support people who need our help, and affirm the worth and dignity of all persons, everyone. So to all the missions and endeavors of this place, and to each person in need of care and support, our pledge drive is an opportunity to wrap our arms around them and say, what? We have you covered. We also have to fight against the mentality that our country is all that matters in the world. I heard a comedian once say, if you think that you are living in the United States of America, just zoom out. And you'll see that you're actually floating on a rock in the midst of space. And it is a chance for us to feel the sense of obligation and interdependence on the international stage. When we hear and we see injustices and the damage of brutal wars around us, as we heard today, poverty and crisis in our world, abuse and genocide in our world, we have to do what is in our power to make a difference as a congregation. So our pledge drive is our opportunity to say to the world stage with our arms wrapped around you, we have you covered. Humans and this generation of humans sometimes we think is all that matters. If we can just live in this world and somehow survive it. But we actually have an interdependent web of existence around us. It matters what we're dumping into our rivers. It matters for us, for our future. We have animals who need our love and our care and protection. We have a climate crisis that affects our planet. Striving toward being a green sanctuary here for us means that we are not just committed to this corner block of Woodrow and Hayward Street, but we are committed to justice for all, for truly, climate is a justice issue. So for all here who work and to every part of our interdependent web of existence, our pledge drive is an opportunity to wrap our arms around our world around us and say, we have you covered. I will tell you, just remembering this from 20 years ago when I was 15. 22 years ago, or we'll stop there. I can tell you, just thinking back on this story, I will never forget the experience and the embrace of a support of a stranger putting their arm around me and saying, we have you covered. I'll never forget letting go of the embarrassment and letting go of this philosophy that to be independent means I always have to figure it out on my own. I invite you As it's been inevitable, as I've shared that story, you obviously remember times in your life where you have experienced that as well. So I invite you into that space of remembering that time. I invite you to that healthy and life-giving place of interdependence. And let that be the fuel for our pledge drive this month. Let our pledge and our giving be our investment in the well-being and the future of the UUCC, so that the resounding message from this place to everyone out there, both in the doors and outside our doors who need us, is an arm around the shoulder and a strong message of, we have you covered.
Closing hymn, you will recognize, it's in our hymnal, of course, number 121, so if you want to open up to that, but you will recognize it as being from a long ago thing. But here's what we're going to do. You know, when you were with Encore this morning, we changed some of the lyrics to some of the stuff we've done. We're only going to change these lyrics just with one word. Hymn number 121 says, we'll build a land. But instead of land, I want you to say, we'll build a church. So whenever you come to the word land, I want you to sing church. This is what goes along with our pledge drive. Go. We'll build a land where we church that can be. We'll build a church where we bring the good tidings to all the afflicted. Come build a church where sisters and brothers build a church where sisters and brothers
as you remain standing, our closing words come from Khalil Gibran. It is well to give when asked, but it is better to give unasked, through understanding. And to the open-handed, the search for one who shall receive is joy greater than giving. And is there anything that you would withhold, and you shall someday be given? Therefore, give now, that the season of giving may be yours.
Please join us in singing the Congregational Congregation.
May the blessings of truth be upon us. May the power of love direct us. And may the peace of this community sustain us. Till we meet again.
Thank you all for being a part of our service today. Just a reminder, our pledge drive table is at the back of our social hall, so please make your way back there. Just a reminder to our parents that have kids back in the CYRE event. Remember, they are wrapping up as you do, so make sure that you make your way back there, because they don't always know where they should go and who they belong to, so make sure you make your way back there. And I just also invite the parents too. Ryan here is donating his time, so thank him for coming and doing the great Tabla event. So if you're visiting with us, give us a chance to get to know you as well, for you to get to know us during our social hour. Thank you all for being here.
Yes, but I'm not going actually this time. I'm not because of other stuff. But yeah,
Would Yolanda be the best person to talk to?
well, Lee is Lee
Okay,
who
Lee.
spoke
Okay.
before,
Let me
but we have.